were coming into this group, you know that they're going to be tuning up, and that's a bit terrifying for Direwolves.
Potentially, yes, because this is not unfamiliar territory for EDG. In play-in stage, of course it is, but EDG is not a team that comes into Worlds as favorites and leaves in the same way, Dracos. This is a team that has been to many World Championships, highly touted individual players, and have continually fallen down. So Direwolves have got an opponent on the ropes. Both of these teams 0-1 on the day. Direwolves ball in their court. They can force the three-way tie. But at the same time, all EDG needs to be able to do is get in here, take care of business, and they will be the #1 seed in this group.
Can they do it, though? Can they pull it out, or is it Direwolves who are on the road for an upset? Interesting bans already coming through, limiting the tank top lane pool for BioPanther. The Aatrox, the Urgot, as expected, but giving up that Akali, giving that to Scout is truly terrifying.
Potentially Scout. Ray has also played the pickup. So in the LPL, one of the major reasons that Akali is picked so often is that she is a genuine flex. Now, I do expect it to go towards Scout. I do expect, you know, Triple to have to deal with that in the mid lane. However, Ray's certainly not a stranger to playing those aggressive top laners, and I think that that might mean that BioPanther can't really take the skill match. I mean, I would expect him to pick up something like the Scion almost immediately and try and negate that possibility in the laning phase.
Now we have to see what EDG take. Will they grab the Scion for themselves? The Braum, the Lucian paired together on the side of the Direwolves. If we see a Xayah Rakan here, we are going to have one explosive bottom lane spawn.
Yeah, absolutely. But Lucian and Braum can navigate this lane. You know, Braum is very good into that pickup and should be able to guarantee the push. Obviously, Targon's users are able to do that. Scout much more comfortable on the Kai'Sa, so not surprised to see that one coming through. And if they guarantee a pushing lane for Triple as well, then this is a much more Direwolves-esque composition. Once again, just look for them to secure the tank top, and then, I mean, this is much better. Where was this in the game against Infinity?
Exactly what you want to see, and on the side of EDG, still having Iboy in that late game carry, you've got this lethal assassin threat in the mid lane. Now, Lucian mid, is it a possibility for Triple? I know we've seen it once or twice, but is this something that we think would go do well into the Akali?
I mean, potentially. Into Akali, no, I'm just going to say no. Might have some good trading windows early on in the game. Level 6 is going to get hit, you're going to get ganked, you're probably going to fall down. He plays it into Galio, however, which is not necessarily something that I expect to see Scout go towards, but that's the only situation where you really see Triple pick that up. And as they immediately paired it with a Braum, I just don't expect it to go towards that part of the map.
And it would be good to see Direwolves solidify that strong bottom side. And interestingly enough, they're respecting that flex pick that you talked about earlier, Spawn. They're banning LeBlanc away just to make sure you don't have double assassins on the side of EDG. And now as well, the Galio getting targeted away. I wonder if we'll see the Zillion as well, two of the primary picks that have been used to kind of deny a lot of what Akali wants to do.
Yeah, especially given the fact that the other two picks that deny a lot of what Akali wants to do have been banned by the Direwolves lineup. You normally take LeBlanc or Rise into that thing, and they really have limited now the options if it is going to be Scout playing into the mid lane. Maybe that is where Nofe, coach of EDG, does make that adaptation and pick up something a little bit more tanky for Ray on the top side. Because once again, both of these teams have, when they've played well, relied on the top side of the map to give them the engage.
And this, oh, I want to see it. Direwolves put it all on the table. They're just playing with my heart, Spawn. We're going to have to wait to see what they lock in here, but it looks like jungle will be the priority, saving potentially a last pick, or will they give it to Shurnfire instead? A Malzahar lock-in does mean that Shurn will get his luxurious counter pick in the jungle matchup if he so wishes, but EDG will finish their composition here. Two final picks, very likely a jungler and a top laner, although we'll see if that Akali gets flexed.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised that they went towards the Malzahar, given the fact that they don't know necessarily where the Akali is going. Once again, Camille would be a flex until the last possible pick of Mako, just given the fact that it has got the propensity to be played in the jungle position. Doesn't necessarily have the best lane against the Scion either.
Gonna have to find out. Where is it gonna go? A lot of flex picks actually on the side of Edward Gaming. One last pick. Man, if it wasn't for the Rakan, I'd be like, there's just too many. There's just too many flex picks.
What, where?
Luckily, Shen jungle, not good. So I think we can safely assume that the Shen will be going to the top side, but a Shen-Camille combo and a Akali with the Shen, a Kai'Sa with the Shen. There's a lot of synergy on the Edward Gaming lineup if they want to dive into the backline of the Direwolves.
That's what I was going to say. This is another one of those comps that is, I would expect something like a Hecarim here, by the way. I want Shen on a farming jungler that can have laning impact. But what I was going to say about the EDG comp is this is one of and the ease of execution on it is quite high. On the flip side, however, Direwolves have got all mid-range carries with a beefy front line. In saying that, Shern has made some mistakes today, and Kindred, if you get ahead, very good champion. If you fall behind, pretty unforgiving. So we'll see whether he can make it work.
Incredibly difficult. On top of that, the nature of X-Tech ultimatums and ultimate will push people away outside of the primary target. So if they sit a little bit too comfortably in that Lamb's Respite, things could go south very quickly for the side of Direwolves. A lot resting now on this early game, and especially on the shoulders of Shernfire. It's going to be a difficult one for sure on the side of Direwolves. Already the underdogs in this matchup, but the potential for turnaround here after what Infinity did earlier today for a three-way tiebreaker on what everyone thought would be the easiest win of EDG's life for a group, now coming in clutch.
And they've had an undefeated year, not a team that historically has bounced back well from losses. MSI not able to do it. Rift Rivals, shocking performances after they went down day one. Now losing the first game they played today versus Infinity. They need to win this game to force a tiebreaker. EDG, on the other hand, they know that if they win this game, they're through. At worst, they have to play a couple more to try and guarantee that slot in the best of fives. Just different stakes on the line. Direwolves never done it before. EDG need this for the LPL region to continue their dominance. And I feel like Direwolves are going to come out swinging.
And for both teams, setting more or higher expectations for themselves in the future with a win here. EDG already upset once earlier today. Will it happen again is the question on everyone's mind. And for OPL and the Oceanic region, is this the year where they cut through plans, where they make it to the big stage? Because if you do it with an upset against EDG, people start doubting you a lot less when you set foot on this stage.
Certainly do, but I've seen a lot of Os on day 2 memes flying around at the moment. And the feeling is in the air. They need to silence the haters, shut it out of their mind, and be able to perform against one of the most storied teams of all time in League of Legends. Edward Gaming, they've won themselves an MSI, not playing with Clearlove, playing with their rookie jungler Haro, going up against the superstar of the Direwolves in Shernfire. Shocking first game. Can he bring it back?
In the past, Triple has held his own, and he needs to do so in this laning phase as well. Giving Scout a lead could be disastrous for the team, and Haro is set up to give it to him on that Camille jungle if he so chooses. But Cupcake and King floating around, trying to ensure a safe start. Spotting out the vision on the bottom side, making sure they're not giving anything up in the level 1 here. Neither team going for anything aggressive. EDG played aggressive enough in the earlier game today, not going to risk anything on the level 1.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised by the lack of level 1 so far at MSI. It has been a little bit tame for my liking, and Direwolves liking as well, apparently, because with the sweeper going to look for an early game invade, and they won't be spotted out yet.
This is going to be disastrous. Braum at level 1 is such a strong champion. Concussive Blows has already landed. They are going to look to secure the red buff, but will EDG try to fight back?
Absolutely they will.
Going to go the knockup, hitting 3 members. Equally crucial now. Mako running for his life. Scout is on the way in, but so is Triple, the level 1 Malzahar. How much can he get done? Shernfire now needs to run. Needs to make it out to safety. Scout is so incredibly low. King flashing over the wall. No hesitation. That's first blood for EDG. Haro finding 1 kill. Is he going to go for a second one as well? Shernfire just has to run. He is on the retreat. Level 2 comes in for Haro. Hookshot wall dive. Where's it going to be? Shernfire now backing out. Hookshot the wall dive. Trying to extend it. Isn't going to pursue any further. Haro going in for first blood. Disaster striking at just a minute into the game for the side of Direwolves.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the reason it was so bad is because they allowed Haro to get the red buff and secure level 2. That means he just had everything in his favor as they continue that chase. Now looking to force Triple off the wave as well.
Trying to lay down some damage, continue to insert his dominance. Oh man, suppress the attack, the red buff, everything coming in there. Just to make Triple's life even more difficult in the early laning phase.
Now this is a hard freeze. You know, Scout can just hold the wave there if he so chooses. Triple, given the fact that there is a Camille around and he has no spell shield, going to struggle to get that one back into turret. And this looked great. You can see King actually takes Ardent Blaze, the W, because if any auto attacks come through, they're going to guarantee the speed up and allow him to stick into the fight, but not going to be the case. 3-man knock up there, and Scout's early rotate means that he's first to this play. Haro makes the right call, stays on the buff, gets level 2, and then therefore is allowed to stun up and actually some more action.
Now forcing Triple's flash out 3 minutes into the game, Spawn. That upset hot on the minds of EDG. They are not stopping for anyone. They want to end this game before Direwolves even get a chance to push their buttons.
And one more time, Direwolves are an emotional team. They would not be enjoying this when you are losing a game from level 1, from, 2 minutes in, because maybe a little bit of a brain fade, not willing to burn summoner spells, that's tough.
And when the play that you initiate so early on turns against you, there's a Camille waiting in the jungle to make sure you don't get to play League of Legends, but maybe they can turn it here. Maybe Turnfire can make it out, but Mako is not going to let that happen. They cut right through him. iBoy grabbing a kill of his own.
And EDG just showing that they can play the early game shenanigans as well. They have their early game jungler in. Harrow is having a field day right now. Everywhere he goes, he gets success for his lineup. And, Shern has just been bullied since he's come back from that suspension.
And everyone is just looking at this game. I mean, I'm just blown away. Haro is not giving this man a chance. Usually, hey, 1 or 2 kills. You kind of try to get a bit of a CS advantage. Haro says, no, I'm just going to keep killing the individual members. I'll call Sternfire out. I say, I know where you're going to go. I know what your eye's on. I'll take you down once again. Huge show of confidence from EDG in the early game. And I mean, the gold lead, this is, 20 minutes in, this is nothing, but 5 minutes in, this is everything. Those item differences, those XP differences at this point in the game. I mean, we're looking at Sternfire. This man hasn't hit level 3 yet, Spawn.
Not only that, I mean, they were able to equalize like all of the summoner spells differences as well. And that's going to come up crucial because they have a better ganking jungler at this stage of the game, and they have the lead. So they can just continue to wreak havoc across the map of Edward Gaming. Bio, kind of the last bastion of hope. He gets real beefy, maybe something can happen, but every other lane right now is a disaster zone for the Direwolves. And red buff Kai'Sa, all of a sudden, not as bad as laner as you think that she might be.
Oh, and iBoy just landing the poke too on the Void Seeker. King just doing what he can to soak up the farm, and they don't have any vision in their jungle. You have to think, are they just wondering, is there a Camille waiting to dive us? They don't, Summoner's only left up and available on Cupcake. Knight may be able to get them something. And already just being forced to use the Unbreakable, even under his own tower, just to protect King. A difficult state of the game.
So oppressive. Shern just throws out a ping where he thinks the jungler might be. That's a cute interaction. The fact that you can one-shot all the Voidlings, really giving triple difficulty in this landing phase, and Scout just zoning him away from creeps.
And even with the Malic Visions, you just immediately drop aggro. So triple, if this was 100% even, maybe he could get a little bit more wave clear, but the fact that Scout just deletes every option Malzahar has, and the fact that triple can't approach the wave.
Bad. And
very,
given the fact that Scout burnt the flash early on in the game and didn't actually have access to the creep wave, had to recall and then come back. Triple got half a wave of experience, but Harrow came there, even up the wave, and now you can just see, even now that it's crashing, he just can't go anywhere near it.
Really no options here. Triple waiting over the wall, hoping to just catch a little bit of XP. Maybe with Sternfire here they can do something, but Harrow's right there. Still, admittedly, only level 4, not the level 6 Camille. Not really a lot of ways to reset tower aggro for the Camille if she does go in. Kali, of course, just gets to walk in and out of that tower aggro for free. Scout going to back up, not wishing to push his advantage any further. See if he goes for a quick back here to get that first item.
And they've already got Scout 2 waves of CS over his opponent in triple. Got the level 6 first of all, has both summoner spells now up and available, and it's just pretty much guaranteed the push at this stage of the game. So one more time, if you get your assassin out of the laning phase, if you control vision around that mid lane, triple's just not going to be able to follow. Doesn't have the teleport either. So now you've lost control of 3 lanes. Even Ray is having a good time in the top lane, and Mako potentially going to look for a gank down here as well. Shern here.
He's just going to back off, not going to commit to anything further. Direwolves using their jungler just to keep pressure on the bottom side. Now the back for Sternfire. Sadly, every second he burns here just means Camille gets another camp, gets a little bit further ahead. Desperation times coming in for the Direwolves, looking for these aggressive plays. Low risk, potentially high reward here in the exchange, but Mako just playing with his food, making sure that back's not going to come through, and you can see Camille responding on the top side. Excellent coordination from EDG. Free access now to the camps for Harrow, putting Sternfire further and further behind.
And she's gone back, picked himself up a Tiamat, so going to be able to clear through the last camps that are a little bit difficult for Camille. You can see that they want to be able to rotate to Shern's camp with the push that is being secured by Bio, but Harrow is just so much stronger than Sternfire at this stage of the game. There's no way he can contest it. Kicking a Kindred out of her jungle, doubling her CS at 8 minutes.
It only gets harder, Spawn.
Very hyped up Sternfire coming into this and is having another shocker.
Mako goes in, he is going to get stunned up. It's going to be a little bit tough for him to get out. Cupcake already on the hunt here, but not going to be able to grab much else. King So regretting extending that trade as he takes the Acafian Rain back. But just little things for Direwolves. They can go even in that trade, but the rest of the map, pretty much all eyes on Haro. Where's he going to go next? Level 6 is here. Akali, level 7. It feels like a death sentence for Maltahar. He gets to point and click one person, the other one's just going to kill him.
And I mean, you're even in a trade, but you're down 30-odd CS in the bottom lane already. I mean, this is not a fun laning phase. Already, iBoy picked himself up that kill and the red buff. Top lane, sure, you're even, but once again, you're going even into a Shen that's going to have so much more presence early on in the game. And everyone on the team of EDG is just giving everything to Haro right now. Every opportunity, leaving that lane. Scout looks all in.
That goes. Suppression comes out. He's locked under the tower. The Shen is coming in. The second charge of the ulti is just going to go back, though, on the Shuriken flip, and that's a kill for Ray. Over onto triple. Good use of the Shen ultimate, but dangerously close to triple getting a kill.
Yeah, good coordination coming out of EDG. However, they use the Shen ultimate at the last possible moment, and even though Scout gets out of range of the turret, keeps Ray in range of the kill for triple, so able to secure that kill. He's got himself a Tiamat as well. Looks like he's working on a Titanic Hydra, so going to be an aggressive Shen pickup coming out for Ray.
For now, that's really the only lane where Direwolves have advantage. You mentioned it, BioPanther kind of the last bastion for hope, but Sion not really the champion that can turn the game around, that can dictate the pace here for Direwolves. Have to hope it amounts to something a little bit later. And Spawn, after that upset from Infinity, I feel like every team who's already qualified from our games yesterday was looking at EDG and going, maybe they're not as scary. Maybe it's not a nightmare for us to play up against EDG. But after a performance like this, EDG are reminding us why they were favorites in this group. Just absolutely obliterating the Direwolves right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't like to write losses off because EDG has had too many of them, but you still do have to look at the early game and respect the early game that came out of Infinity. They didn't convert it into a victory. Props to Infinity for sticking with the game plan and playing their style. But EDG with Haro just appear to be a completely different beast. And he still wants more.
Oh, Triple has to be careful. Already burning the passive there. He is going to get stunned up. Shurnfire's here, but it's too little too late. Goodbye, Shurnfire. You are just next on the menu. Level 6 comes in, though. He thinks maybe he can grab one. Does get it down. A good trade for Direwolves. A very small victory, but it is something.
Certainly is, but they go in again.
The ulti, Braum trying to disengage, trying to get something. King dashes back, trying to juke him out. iBoy is going to get locked up, but only Braum left standing. Cupcake now running. And that's going to be the 2v2 kill in lane. iBoy, unconcerned, is not going to grab the kill as Cupcake flashes out, but yet another one dropping in favor of EDG.
And you saw the HP. The difference there was that they put all of their damage into King, whereas Direwolves split their damage across two different targets and weren't able to get either of them. Great coordination. As soon as they see Shurn on the map, they go for the play. Bio now.
Potentially in trouble as Ray just continues to push forward. Stun does land, but that's not the man he has to be worried about. It is Scout on the hunt for blood. Take a look at those cooldowns. That is the ultimate up and available for Akali. Mini stun and an execute. Just going to dash under that tower in a moment. They're just taking their time with it. BioPanther knows he's already dead. Not any chance to outplay this one. Unstoppable, but Akali's just going to hide right under that tower and walk right away. BioPanther can't get anything done.
And you said mini stun, execute. Neither of those things were even used. Just able to pick up the kill. You can just see that EDG is so calm in these situations, showing their experience. And let's take another look at the bottom lane one, because this is kind of the frustrating thing. Shurn shows, so they know that there's no jungle intervention. They immediately go for it, but no shield comes up in the right direction. Cupcake obviously didn't have the cooldown, and the damage split perfectly even at that stage. Mako and iBoy both at about 300 health, but just not to be.
And you gotta respect the EDG bottom lane for playing around those cooldowns, for seeing an opportunity there when the jungler was spotted. Direwolves getting that single kill on Shurn. Maybe it's the start of something, but it's looking grim as still. 3K gold advantage for EDG, 12 minutes into the game. No towers have fallen yet, but they're looking less and less like bastions of safety for the Direwolves lineup as the Camille, as the Shen, and the Akali get further ahead.
Yeah, there is absolutely no safety left on the lineup. When you have yourself a Shen ult, as well as the ability to... Oh my goodness.
So much damage. Just, you can't! He dies mid-ultimate cast. He pushed R just to die, Spawn.
I want to point out that one of those abilities was spell shielded as well. That's like not even the maximum damage that can come out of an Akali at this stage of the game. No ignite needed. Full gunblade. He's 30 CS, 3 kills and a lot up, and he's going one more time.
Fire. Yeah, 5-point strike, not gonna connect there. Shurnfire. It's gonna do a little bit more, but has to be careful. Scout could go for something else. BioPanther now coming in. Cupcake collapsing as well. They want to take down Haro, and they may just get him. That is a kill back for Direwolves. overextending on the side of EDG means Direwolves finally get something in exchange.
And EDG need to be careful because this is exactly what happened in their game versus Infinity. They had this comp that could split up to drag people around, and then they started grouping and they started trading, and then eventually they started losing. In this situation, you know, they do pick up bottom lane turret, still have that 4,000 gold lead, but you want to see them give respect, play a little bit more calm. Potentially like they were on the first day that we saw this team
Have you
play.
ever in the history of League of Legends seen a 3-0-2 Akali play calm?
That's not a fair comparison because I don't often get to see pro players get this fed at 14 minutes into the game.
Very true. However, Direwolves finding those small openings could be key. EDG, as you said, still get that tower first blood, still continue to extend their goal lead. 4K in their favor, but Direwolves finding these kills is going to be important, especially as shutdowns start to come in. Now, Haro, not the one that they wanted to take out, but if they kill this Akali, if they kill this Kai'Sa, that is a lot of gold into the pocket of whatever carry can take down that target.
What color is turret blood?
Oh, yeah, because it's tower first blood.
Do they like red, yellow, like?
I mean, if it's like made of concrete,
Yep.
what is like, is it
bleed?
just liquid cement? I mean, I don't know.
I'm just asking. You seem to be the expert on the subject, so I thought I'd check in.
Is this what we're doing now? Or is,
Huh. What else is there to do right now?
I'd say purple. You know,
All right.
both sides.
Maybe that's what Lulu was talking about. Is Scout gonna kill Shern? No, he's not. Ooh. Oof. Heads up play.
I feel like Scout could have pulled the trigger there, but respects triple, not going to risk it. Rift Child, however, not giving Haro his due respect and will go down. Doesn't always expect to see a Fed Camille there.
And that's funny because that play right there is kind of what we've seen some of the play in regions do to the major regions. It's just go sit in a brush randomly, not catch a bottom lane wave or something like that and be able to pick up a kill. But this time around, Shern says, I play in one of those regions. I am used to these shenanigans.
Nothing quite as international as the Death Brush. Well, Direwolves looking to make one of their own, potentially.
That's what I like to see.
Let's hide in some bushes. Let's get some picks. Let's bring it back. See if we can get a close game out of this one. Herald, though, going to continue to count against them. And, of course, Scout can't just walk up and hit this tower. Shernfire being here doesn't offer too much safety because Mako is threateningly engaged. And yet another tower falling in favor of EDG. 5K gold in their favor. It just continues to grow.
Yeah, and the problem is that Direwolves are a team that are used to playing with control. They're used to having the first move. Once again, they haven't lost a competitive series in Oceania. So now they're playing from a significant deficit. And normally you would say, you know what? Look for some scrappy team fights, look to convert some kills, but also they're playing against a team that is mechanically very sound. It's showing that this time around they're going to play the game maybe a little bit more slowly, a little bit more respectfully, so really just limiting the avenues for Direwolves to attack, and EDG need this one. No team really wants to go through as a second seed. If anyone could do it and still cause the upset, you would argue maybe someone like an EDG or a G2 would be your favorites. But still, that first seed being able to play against the second seed is so important, so critical to being able to get towards that group stages of Worlds. This game really is, you know, you don't want to push it into tiebreakers. Anyone can win tiebreakers at that point.
And when the pressure is on like that, single mistakes can cost games. And in this game, it did feel like that level 1 decided so much of the momentum in EDG's favor, but we've seen EDG in these positions before. As these outer towers start to break, they have this massive gold lead, but it will start to shrink as a lot of that standing gold is taken off the board. And now we'll get to see if EDG can close out after those tier 1s are all dropped. Good news, no one can really stand under a tower 1v1 against Scout. So a little bit more favorable than I think they're used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scout already gone back, gets himself the snowboard QSS as well, so that's not going to be the major issue. You can see that iBoy also grabs his, although now Mako in some trouble.
Locked up, iBoy locked up as well. Triple now coming, but they're just going to walk that one out. Direwolves fishing for an opportunity, hoping to catch someone out, but it's just not going to work at the end. And QSS, of course, still up and available for iBoy, delaying that second item spike just to ensure that he cannot be picked off.
And I thought they would continue that chase. However, obviously very much respecting Ray's ultimate in the bottom lane, not having to rotate to the play, and also not wanting to just get punished for a greedy pick. You could see right there that Mako looked like he was going to go a little bit more deep. They thought that they had the play, but it wasn't going to be the case. And it's not a long cooldown that they've burnt, so they just will be able to reset and make it again in a couple of minutes. Direwolves have one more desperation play before this game is completely out of control, especially if it is after the 20-minute mark. And they are going to have to pick their play very carefully if they want to succeed.
Now we're seeing the Herald summoned by Haro, looking to break that final outer tower, potentially push for more if Direwolves overstay and get a member picked off. But King is not scared. He's not playing scared. Might need to be, though. Haro coming in. You got Scout over the wall as well. Direwolves know better. They know this is not their opening. This is not the avenue. This is not that play that you talked about, Spawn.
Yeah, as soon as you see Scout come to the play, you're kind of like, let's go somewhere else, guys. You know, Scout's at the red buff. Maybe let's get
Yeah,
on to
can't go into your own jungle either, sadly, Spawn. Sternfire trying to buy a bit of time with the Lamb's respite. Can't imagine he'll live too much longer, though. Is iBoy going to pursue any further? Scout leaping into the middle of the team. iBoy is there as well. They're just looking to clean up, and they're the messy melee. Double kill dropping for Scout. They're just cleaning up individual members. Triple still alive. iBoy now running. Cupcake just wants to get something back, but Ray is here. The Rift Herald is still here. A story of absolute dominance from EDG.
Dracos make it stop. Direwolves right now are getting run over. EDG look like they mean business. Scout is a man possessed, and nothing is going to stop this team.
Absolutely stellar individual play, and of course just a massive gold lead to back it up from the side of EDG, collapsing, taking down an inhibitor turret at 19 minutes. You have to feel like they don't even need to touch that Baron to end this game, and Direwolves, that may have been the final window, Spawn, getting caught out as a team.
This is 3 kills, and this is Shern being greedy. One more time, hand in the cookie jar. Goes in, he's the captain of the squad, should not be there, and he gets everyone else killed with him. You can see the King tries to save his captain, gets taken down. Cupcake in there. BioPanther is that tanky that they probably just, you know, don't want to spend the resources to kill him at this stage of the game. And Shelly, meanwhile, just doing what Shelly does best. And that's not leg day at the gym, that's taking down turrets.
A lot of purple blood this game, Spawn. Direwolves doing what they can to hold on. Once again, it's.
Are they doing what they can to hold on?
I mean,
it looks like they're dying over meaningful objectives in the jungle right now.
Red buff is a meaningful objective sometimes. Probably not when you're at a massive deficit, and that is an 8K deficit. Basic arithmetic, of course, an important skill of the play-by-play caster.
Always.
And honestly, for EDG, just feels like they're going to walk this one home. Of course, you have to still respect a lot of these towers, especially the inhibitor towers, but they're just not scared.
Yep.
iBoy's ready to kill anybody. That's just the way he plays the game already. And on top of that, he now has a massive lead to back it up.
Fountain Laser also a danger of EDG, potentially.
True.
Outside of that, the team fight's going to be very difficult for the Direwolves to win.
Definitely the case. Fountain Laser feels like the great equalizer.
Potentially a Baron. We actually saw EDG and Direwolves in a very weird Baron dance the last time they played. So, you know, anything is possible around that Baron pit, but you just can't get anywhere near it. Look at Scout playing Gatekeeper, holding everyone away.
And I feel like anytime we see an Akali take off in a game, the game feels very difficult to win. But now, Sternfire going to get engaged on, immediately deleted. No, does manage to get the lamp but out. But iBoy into the back line now on a killing spree. Mako looking to turn it. The double dropping already. Ray off to the side. The triple for iBoy. They want to give this man a penta, but they're not going to pursue any further. EDG just taking what's put in front of them.
Yeah, exactly right. Now they can turn their sights onto Baron. No smite going to be up and available. They even take away the blast cone and everything right now in EDG's favor. Direwolves don't have the items. Looks like they've been outplayed at every stage of this game. Elimination point, and EDG are unrelenting.
Scout walks into mid lane, ready to take a wave. The Baron drops in favor of EDG. 12,000 gold in this team's favor. With the Baron buff there, you have to feel like they are just going to walk it down. And Direwolves, you know, in this position where they kind of just have to look back at their mistakes and just figure out what went wrong.
And you see that they're just doing such a good job of protecting their vision around Baron, and their target priority is amazing. They get onto the Sternfire. As soon as the ultimate is out, immediately swap to triple. He's the only member that can add real meaningful lockdown CC. They don't overchase this time. They're not playing with their food. They just take the kills that are available, back away, take all of the objectives off the map, and look to close this one out textbook.
Merciless League of Legends Spawn. EDG unrelenting in this game. 13-2 now the scoreline. Little Earth, Wind, and Fire close it out. And really, each individual member just so much stronger than their opposition, and potentially stronger than 2 of the opponents that could stand across from them. Akali now, 2.5 items completed. The taunt now comes in, triple. Caught. There's really no recourse here. Shen's just gonna walk it down. Running for his life. Scout, though, potentially in trouble. King hungry for a kill here, but has to be careful. Scout has a ton of burst in the kit. The Ignite available. Members dying left and right, Spawn. Direwolves no longer a team. 5 individuals waiting to die at the hands of EDG. Not a lot of options left.
Certainly isn't, and they're going to look to continue to push in.
Shen goes forward, iBoy goes forward. He wants a few more kills just to close it out, just to remind people who they're messing with. Taking down so many members of the Direwolves, taking this inhibitor and very likely looking to close the game here.
Yeah, and unfortunately you're watching the capitulation of a region, but you're also watching EDG return to some form.
Here we go, Spawn. EDG, final moments coming in clutch to bring this one home. Infinity sitting off to the side, happy that they made it out of the group after a rough day, and Direwolves are forlorn as EDG takes first place.
King shattered. Not the way the Direwolves would have seen Worlds go, but you just have to sit back and admire the early game of EDG at times. The ability to start a snowball and then continue to play at such a high tempo and limit mistakes. Very well done.
And on the side of the Direwolves, they just never got the chance to play on even footing. The second that level 1 went awry, the second some of those mistakes came through, the game was in the hands of EDG. Defeat on the faces of the Oceanic players. They wanted more from Surnfire on their day, but it is EDG who reigns supreme today. Even after the upset, they are the team that brings it home, that takes the top of this group.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Direwolves tried to match their strength against EDG's strength. You know, Surnfire